Today on the show, in honor of Resident Evil, the final chapter, and Resident Evil 7.
We might be the only one honoring Resident Evil 7.
That's true.
That's okay.
We're talking everything zombies. And yes, we'll talk The Walking Dead as well. Welcome to the Grizzled Geek, the show that has a combined zombie survival score of 4.3. I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
I'm Doug. And I brought that average down because I don't know what a zombie survival score is.
Well, Chris keeps us up there a little bit because he works out. He could probably save us from the zombies if he could see better.
I can outrun you.
Yeah, he can outrun me. I'm all.
Buddy.
Apparently, fat people don't survive zombie apocalypse. That's what I found out. I have guns. I have scout training. I got, but no. My score brought us down.
Could you do me a favor, put that all in a duffel bag and throw that
Shove it in
towards me as I run away? Because that'd be great.
Zombie apocalypse, I'm joining the winning team. That's what I'm going to be a winner. All right, we're talking everything zombies. This week, Resident Evil, the final chapter is released.
Unless it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the final chapter.
Then it'll be like,
Because wasn't Jason a final chapter for a while?
There was a final chapter. There'll be more.
Friday,
There'll be zombie movies from here on out.
Well, if they hadn't done that, then we wouldn't have Jason X.
That's
Sorry,
true.
I think I'm off topic.
No,
No, he's a zombie.
Technically, he is a zombie, yes. All right, so it fits. And also, even better than Resident Evil Final Chapter, Resident Evil 7 is releasing Friday, I think, on Xbox, PS3,
Thanks
4.
for tuning
Where are
in
we
to
on?
the
What PS
experts.
are we on? I know. We're old. We don't play video. PC. I'm buying it on PC. Outside of that, I don't know what these fangled consoles are. But yeah, so in honor of that, we're going to have a show about zombies. Now, Chris and I, we've watched a lot of zombie movies from time to time. Doug, on the other hand,
I've watched 3 on our list.
bit of a sissy when it comes to horror movies. So he hasn't seen as many as us. So at some point, he's going to tag out. We're going to bring in our director, James, who is our resident zombie freak. I've kind of traumatized him at an early age, showing him zombie stuff. So I'll be paying for that therapy bill for a long time.
Yeah, well, he was like 3 years old. He used to try to bite me. So
That's true.
It fucking serves him well. You can bite me now, too.
But zombies. We're going to talk a little bit about zombies in media. Go over books. I've actually not read as many zombie books as James has. I mean, World War Z, obviously. That's the
I
big
didn't
one.
get through World War Z.
You didn't get through it?
I just once they got to the point where the zombies killed all the people in the tanks.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no. I've got a tank and I've got gas.
That's right.
Back forward. Oh look, all the zombies are dead.
That's true.
I was like, it's over with.
I mean, they go into they explained a little bit how zombies.
I didn't buy it. I was like, no.
I can understand small arms fire not hurting zombies that much, but tanks, come on. Tank shells.
I mean, I think in the chapter I was talking about, they were like, "Oh my goodness, all our weapons didn't freak out, or it didn't kill them," and so they decided that they were going to get out of the tanks, right?
I think right. That's what
That's
happened.
the call. That's the move. Raise your freaking hand if you're in a zombie horde in a tank and you decide, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the tank. No, that is never the plan of action.
Everybody get in the tank.
You know shit, right? Please. No.
Sorry, Max Brooks. We love your book, but
He does.
I loved it. Outside of that, I mean, I think I've read the Zombie Survival Guide, but
Well, that's just a good fashion entertainment.
exactly,
right there,
that's
yeah.
just great. I recommend
Where
it.
you learn a crowbar is better than an axe, and
You also read the one with the little kids surviving the.
Oh,
zombie
everything I
apocalypse.
learned about zombies, I learned in kindergarten. That is actually a really good book.
Well, it's
up there.
it's not on your list actually, but we read it. You actually made me read it. It was The Cell by Stephen King. where
That's
the cell
true.
phone turns you into zombies.
That's great up until the very end, much like a lot of.
Great is a. Do you define great the same way I do? I mean,
Hey, that opening
Better
scene
than
where they
good,
all,
right?
yeah, when everyone first starts getting zombified and eating people, that's a great. I haven't seen the movie. Have you seen the movie? So
why would I watch the movie? I already wasted a couple of days of my life on the book.
I blinked and it was out of theaters, so it must have been good.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
I guess I Am Legend. Does that count as a
No, 'cause those are
Vampires
vampires.
more.
vampires?
Undead.
Undead, I guess.
Same
kind of.
spiel.
Still the best book on that list if it's if it counts.
I believe Raj from Big Bang, zombies and mummies are the same thing, but
Mommy's
I think that was put down by Sheldon. So.
nice.
Yeah,
Walking
that's
Dead.
where you get. That's where you get into some problems with the stuff that's coming out now with zombies, if they think, like you got that iZombie show, which I've never seen, but it's a thinking zombie. So at that point, you're no longer a zombie. You're some other form of undead, in my opinion.
She eats brains, though. That's a...
Well, so other undead,
So do
do...
people-
How many, the checklist, how many you need to be a zombie? Like eat brains or rotting? Or...
Well, I mean, the very core of zombie, the idea of being a zombie is there's no thought involved. So if you say you're a such and such zombie, it's you just zone out, you just do whatever with no thought involved in it.
Right,
Here's a
'cause
question
at first-
for you. Zombies in Game of Thrones, zombies or not zombies? Because, and I ask you this, because I was watching Hard Home, which is one of
Yeah.
my favorite episodes of all time.
It's a great episode.
It's an amazing episode, clearly. I can't even tell you how my 16-year-old daughter was so scared for Jon Snow because
I can
the world
imagine.
begins and ends with that guy. Yeah, how do you kill him? Right? Because like you're watching the battle and sometimes like, I'm going to shoot him with arrows. But then the zombies attack and they have arrows to their heads. Or like, I'm going to stab him with my sword. I'm like, what the fuck is that going to do? Right?
like
the guy doesn't have any guts. I'm just going to stab him with a sword and take him out.
Like skeletons almost.
But is a defining characteristic of a zombie that you have to kill them by destroying the brain? Is that a defining characteristic of being a zombie?
It wasn't
guess
for
so.
Return of the Living Dead. In Return of the Living Dead, the zombie like cut off an arm and the arm keeps coming at you.
Right.
That was, really depends on.
Well, because they had to burn them.
They had to burn them. Yeah,
Yeah, which didn't turn out too well.
that didn't work out too well. That was.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I loved that movie, but we'll go on to movies. Let's talk about some of the zombie movies. I've seen a ton of zombie movies. A lot of really bad zombie movies. There's more bad movies ones than good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
well, it's to be expected. We love bad movies, though.
We
so-
do love bad movies.
on.
In fact, one of my favorite is also one of the worst zombie movies I've ever seen, which is Redneck Zombies. That was.
Oh, come on now. When the guy does the autopsy on the zombie, that's amazing. That's good theater right there.
Yeah. If you can find Redneck Zombies,
Watch Redneck Zombies.
highly recommend it. It is horribly. I mean, it's like an old VHS video. Like we found it in the back of
Hey, don't even talk to me where you found it. But yeah, no, it's it was Traumaville, right?
No, I don't even think it was Trauma. I think it was. Trauma has a bigger budget than this.
Oh.
Is it Trauma? It's Trauma. All right.
Aha!
Panel. The resident expert says it's Trauma.
I am more grizzled than you today.
You are. You knew. You knew.
Unless
I
we're
didn't.
talking about comic books, evidently.
That's true. But I mean, there's some really good ones. I mean, everything from like obviously Shaun of the Dead. You're a big fan.
Have you seen Maggie?
I have seen Maggie. Yes,
Yeah, I liked it.
I did too.
I liked it.
I didn't expect to,
Well, yeah.
but I actually did. I liked
It's
it.
post Governor Schwarzenegger, so
It is. It's actually. I think it's his best thing he's done since coming back to. Acting.
Expendables. He wasn't really in it that
It
much.
wasn't really in it that much. Yeah,
know.
and he didn't really have to act for that. That was just
Well, yeah.
Be himself.
just be yourself. But no, Maggie was good. There was a little indie film called The Battery, which is probably one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. And it's really, unlike the big spectacles like World War Z and all these big zombie, it's about two guys, two friends, like surviving together. And they're in the woods mostly. There's only like a few zombies in the entire movie, right? But it's just it's like a psychological, about how they survive, how they cope through their friendship, and it's got gut wrenching ending like most zombie movies. It's pretty bad, but I even more than Redneck Zombies, I recommend The Battery if you can find it. That's a really good movie.
I like the one where they're hanging out in the mall. Sarah Pauly or something like that. Was that her name? That's a good one.
Don't wait, Dawn of the Dead. You talking about the
Yeah, is that the one where they're in the
the remake
mall?
of Dawn of the Dead?
I mean, there's obviously some serious problems. Hey, the funny thing about Dawn of the Dead, I love the movie. It's entertaining. It's good fun.
I know, it's a great movie.
Hang out in the mall. Why the barbed wire on the car at the end?
Yeah,
It's like a zombie gonna attack the gun. I go, it's barbed wire.
You want the zombies to fall off. You don't want them to get
I'm
stuck
like,
to your vehicle.
I don't know. This seemed well ill-conceived.
That's a Zack Snyder movie. That's pre-emo Superman Zack Snyder. So that's back-
Homewrecker saying is it?
No, that was X-Men Bryan Singer.
Oh,
He did Homewrecker Superman.
Homewrecker Superman.
The creeper Superman.
Yeah,
where
the
he's staring
stalker
in-
Superman.
Yeah, Superman Returns. Superman, emo Superman, current Superman is Zack Snyder, and that's who did. I think that was one of his big breakout. That and 300 was one of his.
Well, 300 is
Yeah.
What do you think of Zack Snyder?
True.
You're gonna get me off topic because
True, I know. I was like, I talk Zack Snyder and DCU. All right. 28 Days Later. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's probably actually one of the scarier, I think, zombie movies. Most zombie movies, I mean, like, they're not really scary. You're like, okay, it's a zombie, whatever. But 28 Days Later, and even 28 Weeks Later,
28 Weeks
sequel, Later? Definitely a very scary opening section of 28 Weeks Later, because it had the family.
I like what the first, Cillian Murphy, is that the guy's name from the first one? The actor. Have you seen it, Doug?
I have not seen that.
All right.
No.
It's a good flick. All right. We take Doug.
And were they technically zombies in 28 Days Later? Because
They
it was
were-
a rage virus.
When James comes into the show, he'll talk a little bit about the different types of zombies. They were one of the infected, I guess. I don't know. He knows all the different types of zombies. He can tell more details. It's a zombie movie, apparently. So I don't know the details. We'll have James school us on that.
I think James needs to come here with a fake beard on, though, because...
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think I made him shave for this. He had a little bit of scruff, but anyway. See, obviously, Shaun of the Dead is one of your favorites.
Oh, I love Shaun. Yeah, absolutely.
Shaun of the Dead's a great... You've seen that one, Doug, right?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That wasn't scary.
Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland, that sort of... That was my favorite genre of
Zombieland
zombie movies.
Comedy zombie movies are great.
Oh,
I
yes.
like those.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, make it
Well, they're not too scary for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Zombieland was like probably one of my favorites too, because I mean,
The rules.
Yeah, exactly. Cardio. That's why I don't score very high on the zombie survival index. Basically, if you see me running, you better run with me because something bad's coming. But yeah, Zombieland was great. Shaun of the Dead. We mentioned Return of the Living Dead. That was like, it was obviously, got a shout out to Romero, who the godfather of zombies, the king of zombies.
Clearly,
The original Night of the Living Dead. I got a story about the Return of the Living Dead. The Dawn of the Dead. We're talking about the Zack Snyder. James watched that when he was really young, because we had that old VHS tape of the original black and white Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
He used to like to watch it.
Uh-huh.
And he came to me and he was a little kid, and he was like, "Hey, can I watch the zombie movie?" And I'm thinking, yeah, that old black and white movie. Yeah, go ahead, watch it. It was the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I traumatized him. He was like freaked out about the zombie baby and that.
Sure, that has nothing to do with the problems he's having today.
No, I'm sure he's perfectly. But yeah, he got to see that at an early age. I'm kind of a bad parent, but yeah, see some of the recent ones, Wreck and Quarantine. The Wreck is basically, it's a zombie movie. It's a Spanish zombie movie, it's subtitled, but they had an American version of it called Quarantine. And
is that the one with the chick from Dexter?
Yeah, Dexter's sisters, and
yeah, okay.
But they made it like some kind of rabies virus, and it was not as good as the original.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as 28 Days Later, the virus thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess it's technically a zombies thing, but the original, if you're gonna see a Wreck or Record, whatever they REC, whatever, good movie. Pretty much that's. I mean, there's a ton of bad ones.
Yeah.
Like all the.
You left World War Z off your movie list.
Oh yeah, World War Z.
Which was not really the book.
That's what I don't know how I feel about World War Z.
Riff off the book.
It was a good movie. I liked World War Z.
It.
It
was okay.
I really liked the book, So it was kind of like
World War Z, okay, this is what I'll say about World War Z. World War Z happens, we're fucked. There's no way anybody...
I'm fine.
Anybody lives.
They let the sick
Z.
people go. Forever. I'm going to be... That's the one I would survive. I actually get through the World War Z zombies.
Mike, I love you, buddy, but I don't think fat is a... Oh, he's too fat to eat. No, man,
You know that one guy, what, did he have like a diabetic guy they let through or somebody? I know cancer gets you.
The problem with that is if everybody else dies, how do you survive? How
that's
do you
true.
Get food. Eventually, all that stuff runs out.
I guess.
And you're like, I've got no electricity.
But think about it, man. Like
no zombie apocalypse for me.
The World War Z zombies in that movie were the scariest.
They were.
They were like, okay, it wasn't a scary movie because it really wasn't a horror movie. It was more of an action movie, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
But those zombies were unstoppable. The guy headbutted his way through a windshield. All right, you've ever headbutted a windshield?
Oh my god,
you have actually in a car
I have.
accident.
I did.
Yeah, so look at that.
I have.
But yeah, I mean, come on.
And it's hard. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as that zombie made it look.
So
It took some work to get through that
you turn into a
windshield.
zombie in seconds.
Yeah,
Right.
Like 6 seconds
and
or
you're-
something like that.
you-
It's like,
you
and they're fast.
You remember how to run.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's those zombies. We're all dead.
Oh.
We're all dead.
So, but the scenes of them actually like swarming, or they're swarming over the bus. That scene where they're all shooting them.
Well, I mean,
That's just an amazing scene.
if you guys are like me, okay, so you're watching an apocalypse movie, zombie movie, doesn't matter. So like shit hits the fan type of movie, right?
Yeah.
What are you actually thinking when you're watching this movie?
If I could survive that,
Would I be alive? Would I live? Right?
Exactly.
Because well, what would I do? Who would I go? And most zombie movies, I have to admit, I'd be like, yeah, absolutely, I'd live through this. There's zombies, no problem. I know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, World War Z,
No.
I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
We're all dead. It's over with.
No military training.
Toe
I have enough
tags.
weapons. There's nothing. Done. Yeah. So definitely, out of all the zombie movies, I'd rather be in Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah, of course.
If I had to pick which one I had to survive, I think I could handle. I could handle Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
World War Z, we're all fucked. All right. Moving on. Video games. It's like zombies and video games. Obviously, we mentioned Resident Evil 7 is coming out. It looks. I hear it's getting people motion sickness or people freaking out. Even the non-VR versions, because it's like it looks scary as hell. I don't know if you guys have seen anything about it. It's probably going to be a must buy for me because I like
Yeah.
those kind of games. I'm going to make James play it in the dark at night. We'll film that. That would be good.
That'll be a special for our Patreon subscribers. when
That's
we get
right.
that
Yeah,
started.
exactly. You want to watch,
Yeah.
16-year-old boy.
Doug's more of a Plants vs Zombies, I think, kind of guy. Right?
Yeah,
You don't like
exactly.
the scary stuff.
I've never played any zombie game.
Not even Plants vs Zombies.
I don't play
phone.
phone games. I'm
man.
I'm right out with phone games. I just,
All right, I play Plants vs Zombies. I'm not ashamed. I play it. Nerd. It's a great. Exactly. It's geek. Thank you. No. Dead Rising. I mean, that was a great one with Nintendo back in the
Deep
Wii.
Space, man. Or Dark Space, what is it
Dark,
called?
what is it? I don't know what it is. I don't know what video game that is.
Time out. Dead Space, that's the one.
Dead Space.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, now I know what you're talking about. Dead
Yeah,
Space.
my son loves Dead Space.
Oh yeah, I think was it Dead Rising was the first one you could actually pretty much use anything to kill zombies with, anything in your environment you could pick up. I remember.
Have you seen some of these things? I know it's left turn. I'm getting famous for this, but left turn. Have you seen the stuff now where you can pay and you can go into a mall, right? And like they do a live action zombie chase thing.
I've seen the zombie chase thing.
They
Yeah.
give you Nerf guns, right? They give you Nerf guns or paintball guns, and they send you in, and you have quests. And like one of them is in an abandoned mall. Yeah, this
man.
huge abandoned mall, and you go in and you have quests and things you're supposed to find, and you've got to go through it. It's like LARPing, basically.
Yeah, LARPing.
But
But
cooler.
with more heart attacks.
Yeah, and yeah, it just sounds really fun to me.
Didn't you play the zombie laser tag at Gen Con last year?
Zombie laser tag.
It was in the hotel.
I tried to, but I ended up getting into some conversations with some interesting people and gave my spot away. So
Oh,
I signed up for it though.
Yeah, because that looked fun.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, good thing going
Yeah.
on.
But I don't know. I remember I was in a haunted house when I was younger, and I accidentally put somebody through the wall, and I have the fight or flight response. I freak out. I get scared. Run people over.
You have a good strong suspension of disbelief.
That's right.
skill
Yeah,
set.
it's like
absolutely.
I freak out and end up punching poor some kid in makeup. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, video games. Obviously, Resident Evil. We'll talk about 7, but the first Resident Evil, or actually was the Wii version of Resident Evil.
There was a Wii version.
There was a Wii version.
I
Yeah.
didn't think Nintendo had any of that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, Resident Evil. They had they actually remastered the first one.
Shop till you drop.
Shop Till You Drop.
Chop till you drop.
Chop. That's Dead Rising.
Yeah. Oh, Resident Evil. Yeah, they have the Resident Evil version. There's several different versions of it. There's Revelations, Chronicles, and they did the remake of the remake of the first one. So they remade.
All right, we've actually subbed out James for Doug.
Gotten more knowledgeable, but less attractive.
That's true. So
I disagree.
he was shouting over the camera, so we decided to put him on camera and let him talk about zombies.
Sorry.
We're talking about zombie video games.
When Doug doesn't know a whole lot of things about zombies, and it kind of
it makes me mad about some of the things that he's like, well, that's a zombie game. It's not a zombie game. Dead Space, it's kind of a zombie game, but not. It's alien zombies kind of thing, because they're necromorphs. That's what they call them.
Necromorphs.
And they
That
work.
sounds zombie.
They work the same way as zombies. Basically, there's a parasite inside their head, and they spread it around as fast as possible. But the problem is the fact that it's more alien than zombie.
All right. Why don't we take a step? Why don't we do this? Why don't you define the different types of zombies for us? Why don't we go from there?
All right. So the main stereotypical Hollywood zombie is, the George Romero zombie, the slow, shambling, walking towards everybody can run away from it. Like, you got Recording of the Dead, basically any of the Deads except for Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, Return of the Living Dead.
They're fast zombies there.
Which is a classic. I love that one. And
well, there's Walking Dead, obviously.
Walking Dead, yeah.
Yeah, most common.
That's your standard zombie.
That's a standard zombie.
Hollywood zombie. Okay.
Then you got like radioactive zombies, which is those are born from like nuclear bombs or whatever, like Fallout. Take it for example, the ghouls from there. Those are perfect radioactive zombies. Reanimator, kind of. I don't think that was nuclear waste. So I think that was like some weird.
Well, it's kind of like Return of the Living Dead. It was kind of some kind of nuclear waste that they created those zombies. Military experiment thing.
Kinda. It
Remember
was
the main zombie came out of the tub of stuff.
Yeah, it was a tub of like military grade stuff that they said that made the Night of the Living Dead movie. But and then after radioactive zombie, there's the fast zombie, which is the infected. I don't consider those zombies at all. I just consider them to be their own thing, virus-based thing, because.
So 28 days later.
28 days
World War
later.
Z.
World War Z. I think Walking Dead is a virus-based zombie, but I don't.
They act more like a traditional zombie.
Yeah, they act like a Hollywood zombie.
Okay.
And after that, I think it's specialty. There's like the game Left 4 Dead. There's like the different types of zombies, like the tank or whatever, which is like weird mutated zombies. That's the
Mutated.
Oh, it's the Resident Evil zombies.
Yeah, Resident Evil zombies. Yeah, definitely messing with like the whole.
Viral too, of course, but
Yeah.
And
that's pretty much all of the zombie classes. There's subclasses of like weird mixes, like mutated virus zombies, like Resident Evil, and those are
Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah, Last of Us, which those were like mushroom like zombies. Those were mushroom people.
Fungus infected zombies.
Yeah, fungus affected people. I don't. That wasn't a zombie game, but that was a good game though. I recommend. 10 out of 10.
Right.
After, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say what. Now that we've defined what the different types of zombies, we'd heard us talk about the movies. What was your favorite movie? Zombie movie.
Jesus.
You've seen them all. You've seen more than any of us. So.
You brought up The Battery, which I really enjoy. That's my favorite zombie movie recently. I think, I don't know. It's really hard to say. I love the Dawn of the Dead remake, and that was yet again infected. But it's really hard because there's so like I said, there's so many different genres of zombies and such. So
you're the one who showed me The Battery, though.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Oh, The Battery is so good. That was not my favorite one though. I don't think so. I think Return of the Living Dead was my favorite just because it was hilarious. Yet again, it kind of messed with me like mentally.
It was funny like Shaun of the Dead, but scary.
And also there was a naked punk chick inside there. That was really cool.
That's true.
That was my favorite part of the movie was when that redheaded chick.
When I was your age, that was my favorite part of the movie too.
Just got naked in the middle of a graveyard. I don't care why she did it. She did it, and that's what matters. So that's my favorite. That's my favorite zombie movie, personally.
Fair enough.
That's it.
All right. So going over zombies in media, we've gone through movies, books. We forgot to mention the Walking Dead comic, I guess, with the books. That's a pretty big one. Actually, read that before the the TV series.
And to quote Robert Kirkman, any zombie is the best zombie as long as it works for the story. That's what matters mainly. Because if that's why there's so many bad zombie movies. It's because they don't make sense to the story. They don't work the zombies for the story. The zombies are there just to be there for no reason. It's not like The Walking Dead, the TV show. It's the whole point of that is, it's very much a dramatic show, other than being like a horror show. There's horror elements inside of it.
Well, the zombies are the setting in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
They're not the
focus.
primary antagonist 90% of the time, but they're just the setting.
Yeah.
So what you have is a people who are struggling. Sometimes it's man versus man. Sometimes it's man versus nature, but and man versus self. But yeah, that's what I actually like about The Walking Dead. When it's good, it's character driven.
Yes.
Right? It's story driven. When it's bad is when they rely too much on the special effects or
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why
Gimmick situations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
the same situation over and over again.
That's true.
Yeah.
So to any zombie filmmakers out there, story is king. It doesn't zombies are just the background. Take example, the first season of The Walking Dead. That was probably the best season in my opinion, because first it stayed very close to the comic book, and not just that, it also
Frank Darabont fan, huh?
yes.
All right, well, we'll get into Walking Dead in a minute. That's a big part of it here. But let's go to the last area of, well, not the last, but the next area of media for zombies, which is games.
Yes.
Right? It's probably working in the game industry. Me and Chris both work in the game industry. We have played our fair share of zombie
Well,
games.
there's every kind of game you can possibly
Yeah.
think of, isn't there?
Yeah.
Dice games, card games, role playing games,
Miniature
board
games.
miniature games.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's almost like anytime somebody comes out with a game or a new game company comes up, is like, well, what's our zombie game?
Yeah.
we have to have a zombie game, so which one is this going to be, right? So
So let's talk
Well,
favorite. What's your favorite zombie game?
my favorite, personally,
what do you
my favorite zombie game, believe it or not, is the goofy cheap ass game from
Lord of the Fries?
Lord of the Fries, because
Or give me the brain.
Yeah.
They have a couple of them.
yeah, a couple of them. The other thing I also enjoy, and it's because I play with my kids, is Zombie Dice, because it's really simple. It's
Zombie
fast paced.
Dice. Yeah.
There's no problem to it. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to actually play a miniatures game, Zombicide is really good.
Yeah.
Zombicide is always fun. I can never get the car. I always want the car in Zombicide. I never get that to work, sadly. Yeah, I think those are the top. And Project Z that came out not too long ago is actually
Project Z is good.
got some good mechanics to it.
yes.
Bikers versus zombies. That's all you
Bikers
need.
versus zombies, man. And in fact, that's how I had it first described to me. That's how I bought into it. It was like, oh, zombie game. Yeah, bikers versus zombies. I'm like, okay.
I'm in.
That's what's up. Yeah.
That sounds fun. A whole group of Daryls versus the zombies. Okay. That's
yeah.
cool.
I've been playing. I think zombies my favorite. I've been playing Zombie Flux recently. I mean, it's typical. It's Flux.
Well, they had to have a zombie game.
That have a zombie game. See, an example. But I like Last Night on Earth. When you have the-
That's a fun game.
when you have the
It's-
time.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
when you have the time.
It's,
The first time, and then after that,
Yeah.
it kind of gets
It
tired.
gets a little old out of the yeah. Like oh.
I think my favorite zombie board game itself is Zombies. That
Zombies?
one's my
Yeah.
favorite one, just because
It has a ton of little miniature zombies.
the fact that there's so many different scenarios, and it's the replayability for that game is amazing, especially with all the expansion packs that comes with it, with all the new cards and stuff. Like just right there is like Zombie Corpse. It's humor, but it also is dark humor. It's like my favorite type of. I don't know. It's my favorite.
The great thing about that game is
Medium
that you play tiles, so the
zombies.
map's different every time. So you randomly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of replayability, like you said. Yeah, that's good.
Here's the crazy thing about zombies in itself. Really, is the fact that a long time, like not long ago, it wasn't. Zombies weren't like big. There was just this small thing. In fact, zombies were for like nerds or whatever. Like like in the 80s, like that's why the only.
Yeah, when I was little, there was hardly all the zombie movies were usually foreign.
Well, we talked about this last time. It's the
Yeah.
dynamic of our generation being in power.
That's true.
Right? Our generation
We like
being in
zombies.
power, you see all the things that you could possibly want ever as a kid coming to fruition. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that goes for many. I mean, the new Voltron series on Netflix, right, is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
And zombie movies and zombie games and all these other things, again, is it's just trickled down of our generation being in power, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that goes across the board. So Marvel movies or
Any of that stuff.
all the TV series.
So
or
we like
zombie
zombies in the
games.
'80s, and now thanks to us, you guys get a bunch of zombie movies.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
you know, we're kicking the baby boomers
That's
to the
right.
side, and we're saying, all right,
Baby boomers are on their way out. It's us,
Like,
Gen X.
Yeah, zombies are the new cool now. It's crazy because
It is.
like like just not that long ago, like
Des
2 or
Bryant
3
up here, right?
2 or 3 years ago, they just made like a zombie love romantic comedy. It was a weird mix. I didn't enjoy
Yeah, it's
it
where the
personally,
guy
but
ate the boyfriend's brain, and
Yeah.
then, you know, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
uh,
it became a new Twilight thing. I was
His
like,
friend was funny.
I,
The zombie friend
You
guy
see that-
was
you saw
funny.
that?
yeah,
movie?
I saw the movie and
Did I see the movie?
Yeah.
I fly a lot. so,
So
sure,
Yeah. I've
that's
seen most
I'll
movies.
watch anything on an airplane.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god. Oh yes.
all right. Fair enough. I'll say we talk a little bit about. We can't have a zombie episode without talking Walking Dead.
Oh please.
we're already kind of
We
Or
mentioned it
did.
several times, but really, it is the. I mean,
It's the most popular.
The most popular
even,
thing.
even after the drop off of the last season, it's the most popular show
it
yes.
is.
that's
And
ever existed that included
It's,
zombies.
it is a good reason why the surge in zombie popularity is. I mean,
Everybody's trying to get a piece of that pie.
everyone's trying to get a piece of that Walking Dead pie.
Yeah.
So
it proved they can make money, and now people are like, let's make money, let's do it.
I was a fan. I mean, me and James read the comic before, the series even came out, and I was super excited about seeing it. But I have to say, the series has its ups and downs, but I watch it regularly. I have to see it.
Yeah, it's on my DVR.
Yeah. What was your favorite Walking Dead moment in the series?
From the season or just in general?
Just do in general.
My favorite Walking Dead moment was when they were lined up. They had just found Terminus, and they were on their knees in front of the troughs. And the guy was like, "What's in the bag you buried? What's in the bag you buried?" And he goes off about everything that's in the bag that's buried. And there's a red-handled machete that I'm going to use to kill you. I was like, yes,
Yes.
that's the Rick I want, right?
Yes.
Right. So I was like, come on now. You're on your knees. You're tied up. You're staring at the guy in the face.
And you're telling him how he's going to kill him.
And you're
with
telling
that-
him how I'm going to kill
with
you.
what weapon?
With what weapon? he Babe Ruth's it, man. He's like, yeah, right there.
Why don't you go dig that up for me and get me a machete?
Oh,
I'm going to kill you
God.
with.
Absolutely. Right?
Yeah. What about you,
So-
James?
My favorite, I won't say Rick moment, Walking Dead moment was when Rick and, what was the old guy's name? I forgot. It's been a while.
From the first season?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not for the season.
Herschel.
Yeah.
Herschel.
Herschel. They were set up a bar, and then all of a sudden these guys,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
That's a
these
big bad
guys, like, they came in, and they're like, they're making threats against Rick and Herschel, and all of a sudden Rick just pulls out this goddamn sweet like revolver shot against both of them, like all of a sudden out of
Kills
nowhere
them both out of this. Just
with the 2 headshots. That was crazy, and then. Like, the look on the third guy's face was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then he lifted up his weapon, and you seen him get blasted away. Was
You know why that scene was actually really, really great? It was a turning point. It was a turning point for the character of Herschel because he was always like, preservation of life, I'm going to be Christian, blah, blah. And what he saw in that room was a threat to his daughters, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, he saw these 2 guys, and like, these guys are threats to your daughters. And as someone who has a daughter, you know that moment, oh, yes, peace, love, everyone's great. You want to do what? Yeah, no, fucking kill those guys.
yeah. And that's when he realized what he
that's
needed Rick
exactly
too.
what you're gonna do, and that was a culmination moment where he realized everything was Rick was telling him all this time is true, and obviously he'd already kind of gotten over it because of he had seen the what Shane had done to the zombies out of the thing, and said, okay, well, I've been a fool, but now he realized actually there's these people out there too.
Yeah, that's
that
when he
are
realized
threat-
he needed them too.
Well,
he
yeah,
couldn't do
exactly.
what Rick just did.
Oh yeah, well,
That
that's,
was-
yeah.
I'll pile on with a badass Rick moment. For my favorite, I think it was the Terminus season 2. It's when they were captured by these
Yeah,
guys.
baby.
Carl, his son was about to get like raped by this backwards hillbilly guy. They were unarmed.
Yeah.
They had guns drawn on them,
They
and
were
Rick,
done.
Oh, they were done, and Rick like bites the throat out of
Bit
this.
his throat out.
Just
Like a man, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then they proceeded to tear up the rest of them.
which is why I
Yeah.
hate the current season so much.
I was gonna say that brings us
Those
to
three,
current
we
season.
just described 3 scenes. That is the epitome of why I'm like, are you kidding me?
All right, let's briefly touch on current season.
Oh, is that not meant to be the segue?
Oh man, no, that goes right into it.
No.
A little divisive this season, I think. I think it had the biggest drop off of viewership after the first one. people couldn't handle the snuff film that was the opening episode this season.
Right. Well, it's funny actually because that is not why I'm upset. Like whatever they had. To
I'm
kill
with you.
somebody.
I'm upset in the. Well, they drug out the turn for Rick. I understand him. They spent 2 episodes of him getting beat down, and then finally in the season finale, spoilers, he's decided to get his backbone and he's going to fight again, right? But we've been waiting half a season for that to happen. So it was basically this whole season is just basically one, this.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to go in detail on this because I think it's important.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not even upset by the way the plot. So you say the overall plot. Negan captures you. He kills a couple of your members. He breaks you, gets you to conform with him. Not even upset about how they scripted that. Scripted is the wrong term. How they plotlined it, right? Okay, well, we need a half a season where they're taking crap to build up this, this threat, right? That's fine. Okay, great, no problem. What I don't like and am passionately frustrated with is the characters who do things or make decisions that are completely out of character. We just described why we love the Rick character so much, right?
Yes.
Because, let's face it, he turned into Shane, which is kind of funny. But that's what he did, man. He became this badass guy who we were like, yes, absolutely, this guy. Even Negan mentioned it in that episode where he's watching the film where he's interviewed. He's like, oh, that guy, I wouldn't have messed with that guy. But that guy ain't around no more, is he?
Yep.
Right? So you're like, yeah, where the frick is that guy? So all these characters that are taking steps back or altering or doing things that are completely out of character and is so frustrating. And it's not just Rick, it's Carol, it's for a bit to me,
Don't worry about it.
it's Daryl for a bit to me. There's several characters who are just taking these off roads and doing things that are anti why we like them, why we are passionate about the show. And yes, okay, the snuff film, whatever have you. They had to kill somebody besides Abraham because I liked Abraham as a character, but he wasn't a main character that had no impact there. Killing Glenn obviously gave him the impact they were looking for. Great, no problem.
And it matched the comic.
And it matches the comic. What's Glenn's favorite restaurant? Popeyes, right? Come on.
So bad.
So yeah, it's great.
Was not going to say it.
But think about it, man. Think about it. That's why I had a problem with this. I can deal with the snuff film shit. I can even deal with them taking in the back seat and being beat down by Negan. Okay, fine. But for God's sakes, man, don't change the characters that you've spent years developing, having these story arcs for them, and then immediately take a step back or a left turn completely.
I'll tell you, the one I'm most upset about is Carol. The way the character, she was one of the baddest characters in the group, and then now she's like becoming a pacifist. Or I don't know what she's doing. Isolation, pacifist.
Yeah, it's not only just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I mean that scene where they're in the cabin. I no longer like her again. Like
I know it's
forget whether she's a badass. Forget whether she's not a badass. She was just a horrible person, like bad to the people around her. It's like, there's some sort of underlying character thematic to it, but I'm not buying it.
Well, in the series, she took over the Lori role from the comics, right? Lori in the comics is like really badass.
The Lori role?
Lori.
Yeah.
Not Lori.
Andrea.
Andrea,
Yeah.
sorry. Andrea. She took over the Andrea role. Andrea in the comics is like the badass sniper. She's like one of the baddest, combatants in the
the best marksman. Yeah.
best marksman.
Right.
And she took over that role because I didn't like Andrea in the series, but so I was like, oh, good, Carol's taking over that role. That's that character. But then they take this left turn with her, and I'm just like, I even more than the Rick stuff. I think the Carol thing is what bothers me the most about.
Well, it's the trend.
Mm-hmm.
It's the trend that bothers me. It's the trend of how they seem to want to do it, and I think it's because they're partially stuck, right? So they don't know where else to go with these characters.
Yeah.
So they have to drag them back to a different point
So
in
that
the
they can-
development, so they can redo the same freaking plot lines that they've already done.
And it's really just lazy script writing, in my personal opinion, because it's like doing like lazy exposition for no reason. There's no reason for them to set them back. There's no reason for them to even change, let alone like Daryl, like you said, like there was no reason why he's like backing down right now. There's just because Glenn died, whatever. That doesn't.
Well, he feels guilty, obviously, because he feels he killed. But
yeah.
But there's more than that because you think
kill
of
Glenn.
you think of well,
But
I mean,
that doesn't.
Negan killed Glenn.
Negan killed Glenn,
Yeah,
for sure. But
But if you back up, if you take a look at how he became right when he was hunting the guy, even before he got captured, right? So he's got captured. Remember, he became very aloof and reserved, like pulled back again, and then like was out trying to hunt that guy originally. When that's when the chick got hit with a crossbow bolt, and
Yeah.
he was pulling back from the group a lot. That's was how he was before. He became a pivotal member of the
Yeah.
group. So.
true.
Yeah.
I think they got to the point now where they have the characters they have now are ones they can't really get rid of, right? So they don't want to, because in the comics, some of them are still around that, not around in the comics.
They should have died like a long time
A
ago.
long time ago, but now they're popular, so they don't want to, they don't want to get rid of them. They're never get rid of Daryl.
Yeah,
that's
there's-
the end of
or
that's the end of the
Rick.
series when they kill Daryl.
All I can tell you is Game of Thrones pulls it off well, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's been done. The mold's already been broken. So, if
True.
you want to remain interesting, well, if not, what are they going to do? Continue to introduce secondary characters and kill them off?
That's what they're doing.
Well-
that's
Well, they killed
That-
Glenn. He's
Yeah, they killed Glenn
season
was
one guy, right? But
yeah. We're down to 3 season 1 people now.
What they should do is that they should slowly make like Daryl or like somebody that we already know become the Rick role since he's gone. He's slow coming
his
back.
turn is just
His turn is
happened.
coming.
Yeah,
He's
but
right.
but the
Rick and Daryl will always be around. I'm pretty sure.
what Rob Kirkman did when he was writing the comic book was that he was writing an issue, then he realized, oh, nobody didn't die this time. We got to kill somebody off right now, so that they could keep audience on their feet. So like, who's gonna die next?
Yeah.
Now there's not
Comics are a
that
little bit different than a series though.
there's not that surprise though. That's
There's money
what
involved in a series.
that's what I used to like about the Walking Dead was the fact that there was an element of surprise. Somebody might die this season. Somebody might die. Blah blah blah. But and that's part of the reason why I love the comic book so much. And
All right, we're ranting about The Walking Dead. I will say this: I do like. I mean, Negan. I like Negan from the comics, and I really like Jeffrey D. Morgan playing him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
Comedian?
great.
Come on.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Jesus.
I mean,
Well, of all my ranting, of all the things I've gone off about, you wouldn't hear this amount of passion from me if I didn't enjoy the show.
Yeah.
If I didn't love the show and like the show and look forward to the show, I'd be like, whatever. They fucked up that character. They screwed up that character. Whatever. But I do enjoy the show. I
Yeah.
do enjoy the characters.
why you get passionate about
It's
it? It's
why you get passionate about these things. Well, it's part of being a geek and nerd, right?
That's true.
We have these passions.
We're very passionate about our nerd
So,
stuff.
And the great thing about it now is that we have like an outlet so that we could get heard now. Finally, like if enough people gives feedback to the creators, maybe they'll listen. Maybe that's the great thing about now and Geek today is it's the fact that we could go to any of our favorite creators like Rob Kirkman or like I don't know who's directing The Walking Dead right now.
Isn't it cute
but-
talking about Geek today like you lived through the other?
Okay, look. All right.
It's always been good to be a geek since
I'm
you've
gonna,
been around.
I'm gonna let you know on a little something, all right? It was a little hard for me. You should see me in the locker rooms.
I got
all right?
bullied. All right, so that is
Just tell them it's really cold in there.
well, I would say Walking Dead. Final note. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking for the battle.
The big battle.
Here's the funny
Rick
thing
said-
is that, like, again, when you're watching these kind of shows, you're always thinking, what would I do? What would I do?
Yeah.
And the problem is what I would do, they just lost the pivotal character from the guy, one of my favorite characters, the mullet guy.
the guy that makes bullets.
Eugene.
Yeah.
My plan was like, let's make a fertilizer bomb, a big ass fertilizer bomb, and just send it in with the next load of supplies, right? Big ass fucking bomb. Boom! Look at that. Oh, they got the numbers? Boom! No, they don't. Over with.
Yeah.
You know, but that would have been my plan. So I mean, that's what I do. But I'm looking forward to the battle.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, like, what's going to happen is they're going to go to every person that they've met. They've been lining this up all season, right? The women on the river, the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, all these guys are going to bring them all together, and they're going to attack, and they're going to, you know, you're going to have some serious shit going on. Carol's going to be there. She's going to be there. She's going to show up and kill people. Michonne's going to hack some people to death with her katana, and you're going to see Rick kill Negan. And that is what I'm looking forward
You think he's
to.
going to kill Negan?
He better. He better. I'm
If
telling
he doesn't, I'm done.
you. He better kill him.
I would say Negan
Actually,
lasts a while in the comics. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I
he's
I'm
not as
not-
popular in the show as he is in the comics.
That's true.
You know, he's.
People
I
hate
mean, I
Negan.
like. Don't get me wrong. I like the character. I love the way the actor is playing him. He's doing a great job. I hope he gets a lot more work. I just hope it's not on Walking Dead.
Well, there you have it. Our episode of Zombies, talking all things zombies, Walking Dead, predictions, what we like, what we don't like. Thanks for watching.
All right, if you like what you saw there, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to be informed on our latest videos.
Yeah, please subscribe because all of us have kids except for Doug, and we'd like them to eat more. That'd be good. But what I'd also like you to do is, if you don't mind, drop a comment in. Let us know your favorite zombie movies, your favorite shows, things we missed, things we totally left out.
And if you want to support the show, visit our GoFundMe page. There's a link down below. You know, throw us $1, $5, $100. We'll take it.
Thank you. This is Doug with the Grizzled Geek.
Chris?
And Mike, see you next time.